Hello everyone. Alright, so I know I'm a day late on this, but figured better late than never. I finally sorted out everything I needed to make this video today. So this is my newest update on the Wegovy. So I made a video a little late last time. Don't mind all the noises again out here again. But I made my update a little late last time and I explained why in that video, so if you haven't seen that, go check it out. But I am on week 3. This is the start of week 4, right? Now, yes, I was on Wegovy 1.7 for technically, if we're not including the week where I had the pen failure, 3 weeks of the 1.7 milligrams. Now, I had to go back and calculate my weight loss and everything again, because if you did not see the last video, my scale broke, and that scale was apparently weighing much, well, not much, 3.2 pounds underneath what my actual weight is. Now, the newer scale that I am using matches more closely to what I see at my doctor's office, which is a little over 3 pounds higher than what my last scale was weighing. So this is a little more accurate, which is kind of great, but I had to recalculate everything just to make sure I was on the right track. So technically my weight loss, like the number of pounds that I've lost, is still correct. However, the actual weight that I am at was not correct. So there was that. So 3.2 pounds difference, but still lost the same amount of weight, if that makes any sense at all. So I had to go through and calculate it. Now, not last night, 2 nights ago, because today is Friday. Wednesday night, I upped my dosage. It was time to go to the 2.4 milligrams of the Wegovy. And I was honestly pretty nervous about that because of my experience going on to the 1.7. So yeah, I got really, really scared, but luckily I have, Zofran on hand and everything to help me manage any side effects like the nausea and things that were pretty nasty last time. So if you're new here, I am going to cover any side effects that I've been having and my current weight loss and everything like that. As far as that past week on the Wegovy, the 1.7, I did have a lot of side effects. They were starting to dissipate a little more, and I didn't realize that they were actually getting a little bit better until I took this latest dose of the up dose of the 2.4 milligrams, and it made me realize, like, oh my gosh, wait a second, the side effects were getting a little bit better with the 1.7 as I was on it for a little longer. So I'm hoping the same will happen now with 2.4, since that's the highest dose. I'll be on this for a while. It's the maintenance dose. So I'm hoping with time, as I get used to this dose as well, that the side effects will dissipate a bit. Now, the biggest thing that I had mentioned in my last video with the 1.7 is that constipation is a huge issue on this for me. I know it's not going to be that way for everyone. I know some people have the opposite issue. But for me, constipation is big with this one. And you also have to increase your water intake quite a bit to keep from getting extra fatigue, to keep from getting headaches, and to help a little bit with the constipation. And honestly, I'm still struggling a little bit to get that water in because my stomach just feels full all the time, and I really don't have much of an appetite at all. And that goes for water drinking as well. You feel so full and you don't feel like drinking as much, or when you drink you get that fullness feeling, and so you just don't drink as much as you need to. So I'm still working on that, trying to get better at that. So the constipation, yes, is a really big thing. The heartburn and the nausea kind of went away with the 1.7 as I was on it for a little longer. However, and I'll say this was starting to dissipate a bit, but a big thing that I do not hear people talk about for side effects with this medication, and is definitely a thing for me, 1, chills, cold. Like, I am somebody who normally sweats excessively. I am hot all the time, but this medication makes you freeze, at least for me. Like, I am constantly cold and have these, like you can see, maybe you can see, I have goosebumps even right now. And especially at nighttime, I'm freezing cold. I've been wearing like long sleeves and like long pants, PJ bottoms to bed every night, and multiple blankets on top of me. And that's what the room kept around 72 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm still like icy cold. And I'll get chills even working outside in the Florida sun. And so, yeah, you run cold, at least for me. And I know I have read that some people have had this as well. So I know it's not just me. But yeah, like I never thought that was possible. But it feels like almost like I'm feverish. Like I'm very, very cold. And that does come along with two other things that at first made me think I was maybe getting sick. But now I know this is just the medication for me. It comes along with that weird, achy, sensitive skin that you get when you're sick. Like, almost like you have a full body sunburn or something. Or, you touch your skin and it's like almost, not like super, but like almost painfully sensitive. And then body aches. I really noticed this in my legs and my lower back. My lower back is very achy, and my legs, like especially my joints, like my knees, my ankles, were really, really sore. I was having a lot of that in my calves too, so I thought maybe it was like a potassium thing. So I bought bananas last week and was eating a banana a day and trying to get rid of that. And I did notice that my calves were not as painful, were not like kind of tightening, and I wasn't getting that as much. So it could be something, I don't know if the medication can have an effect on your potassium levels and things like that. But it is something to keep in mind in case you're having a similar issue. Maybe you just need to up that potassium, get some bananas in or something like I did. I also heard, but I have not tried it yet, I've heard that magnesium is a good thing to help prevent the aches and pains and everything like that. So I do have magnesium. I just keep forgetting to take it. But yeah, the achiness and the coldness, those two things, you do not see them listed as side effects in many places. But I've definitely confirmed through, feeling it myself and talking to many other people on the medication that it is definitely more common than, all my research would suggest. So that's a thing. And, I did notice towards the end, like at the end of my last week on the 1.7 milligrams, that the achiness was starting to dissipate a bit and the cold chills were getting a bit better because I was able to sleep in, like this is a sleep outfit that I'm wearing right now. It's just like a baggy t-shirt and my PJ bottoms, but I was able to sleep like this without, really having any issues or being too cold, which was great. But, since taking the 2.4 milligram dose on Wednesday night, I am once again sleeping in my long PJs because I am once again freezing cold at night, and I'm able to wear a hoodie in the daytime still because I'm chilly during the day as well. So that's ramped back up, and it wasn't until I started feeling that on the 2.4 that I really realized that it was getting better on the 1.7. So like I said, I'm hoping that this continues to get better on this dose as well, as I'm on it for a while, hopefully. As far as my weight loss goes, so I'm forgetting my total weight loss on Wegovy so far. Let me double check. Hold on. Give me just a second. All right. So my weight loss since, not my latest update, but the update before that, because I had a hard time updating you all last time because I wasn't sure where I was with everything. But in the last 2 weeks on the medication on the 1.7 milligrams, my weight loss was 5 pounds over those 2 weeks, which means my total weight loss since being on Wegovy is a little over 9 pounds now, which is excellent. That's 3 weeks, 9 pounds. That's great. I'll take it. That is like 3 pounds a week, and that's over what I typically would ever lose. I'm happy with any loss, honestly. But more typical for me is, look at this little lizard dancing over here. Anyways, but more typical for me is like 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds a week, which is, what's recommended anyways. 3 pounds per week is not like something that usually lasts for a very long time, unless you weigh more. The more you weigh, the quicker you can lose that weight at first, and then as you get down a bit, it does slow a bit. That's just normal. So yeah, I am officially in Wonderland. I have gone under 200 pounds now. I weigh a little over 197 at this point, according to this new scale. So I am very, very happy about that, because at the beginning of this journey, so for anyone who did not know, before this, I was also on Saxenda. I went from Saxenda to Wegovy. So that makes my total weight loss. I started at like 226, 227 technically. And that's, I don't remember where I started video wise, but that is where my highest was before all of this was there. So, I mean, I've lost about 30 pounds now, and that's just within this year. So, holy cow, like that's 3 months ago. In 3 months, I've lost about 30 pounds, which is really good, right? So I'm pretty excited about that. So yeah, Wegovy is definitely working so far. Now, my update on the 2.4, aside from the side effects I just mentioned, my appetite just went, like, I didn't think it could get any less than what it was, but it definitely did. So my meals yesterday were like a few chicken tenders, and I didn't even finish them. I grabbed like 3 or 4, and I was like nibbling at them, and I couldn't even finish them all. And I had a Pop-Tart yesterday. It's not the healthiest thing, but like I felt like I needed a little bit of sugar at one point. Calorie wise, they're fine. I mean, but I try to eat more protein than, just carby type things like Pop-Tarts. But, it happens. And I'm not about to be super, super strict on myself, because for me, that's just not something I can maintain. And I have to take into account how I'll eat after this medication. Realistically, I'm not going to not want to eat certain things for the rest of my life, but it's about eating in moderation and teaching myself the habits of eating in moderation. I can eat a single, cookie or a couple of cookies, but not eat, the entire box in one go. And that's what I'm trying to, hold on to. I think that's much more sustainable, a lot more important, is to be realistic about, hey, are there things that you like eating that you're gonna want to eat no matter what? How do you eat those things still, but eat them in moderation, so you can still enjoy them. You're not going to deprive yourself of the things that you really love eating. You just have to learn how to make that work in a sustainable diet where you're not overeating, so that's what I'm trying to do here. And it's much more sustainable than, other things that I've tried, which is I've done all the hardcore, keto and everything else. And keto worked very, very well. Don't get me wrong. People do pretty well on that if they're eating correctly on it. So I did like keto, and it worked very well, but I know me enough to know that it's not sustainable for me in the long run. So yeah. But anyway, so here we go. Down about 9 pounds now on Wegovy, 5 in the last 2 weeks. I'm curious to know how it's going to go on the 2.4. It is really, really hard to keep up to date and, have a real idea as to how much I've lost because of the constipation issue. Obviously, if you're not going to the bathroom, you're not going to see that weight loss on the scale. It's tough, but, you have to look at non-scale victories as well. You have to look at how your clothing is fitting differently. I'm trying to do like the tape measure on my waist to keep track of actual inches lost and things like that, because that's where I'm going to see it. And on the scale, you drinking a bunch of water and then jumping on the scale it's gonna affect things. You just retaining more water because you've had some salt in your food, that's gonna change things. Hormonally, things can change and you'll hold on to some extra pounds. Or constipation. So it's not just the most accurate way to keep track. So I'm trying to make sure I take into account other changes as well, so I don't feel like down about the scale not changing, and just being mindful of all those different things. But really, that's it. It's going well. Things are getting a bit better. And hopefully I will see these other side effects, dissipate as I've been on the 2.4 for a little longer. I am a little queasy. My stomach's a little touchy. I do feel it if I try to eat too much. I'll feel it really quickly, but I'm like really not eating very much at all right now. I need to up the hydration, and I'm hoping to wean off of the Zofran now, so that I don't cause even more constipation issues for myself, because that is a big thing. It really, really affects you, and it really, really increases the constipation. The Zofran is, yeah. But it does help with the nausea. It keeps you from puking, which is great because you don't want to become even more dehydrated on this medication. Very important. But anyway, so that's that. I hope this is helpful for anybody else going onto this medication, or, you know, if you are on this or Ozempic, which is technically, I think it's the same medication, just geared towards people with like diabetes and things like that, whereas Wegovy is more marketed for the weight loss side of things. But they're both, what is it, semaglutide compounds. So anyways, I hope everyone is doing well and staying healthy. I would try to say healthy and happy at the same time. Anyways, I hope everyone is staying healthy and happy and has a wonderful weekend, and I will see you all again very, very soon.